Hey, Planeswalkers, hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome, my friends, to this weekly's episode of Friday Night Meta. We got something a little bit going on because I'm late, but first, behind me, you'll see why. So we got a little bit to talk about here today, but for those of you tuning in, appreciate it. As always, flip me a like if you enjoyed today's video. If you have a question, if you have a comment, let me know down below. Love to hear from you as always, or feel free to hop in the Discord server, my friends. That's readily available to you in the description, along with a lot of other fun ways to stay connected. Down there in the details, along with today's episode of timestamps, where we'll break down kind of a little special secret here on Zoomin. Next, we'll also cover, like we always do, standard historic Brawl, best of one and best of three. And then last but not least, we'll talk about some of the key events that happened this past week. And then I know there's a lot of big stuff going on currently, so don't want to spoil that. We'll save it for next week, but I will touch on that as well. So Planeswalkers, thank you as always for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Lots of great things here for you. Appreciate the YouTube members and patrons as always. So first off, what is this? Well, so I am late because I spent everything that I could do here to make it as fast as possible to Mythic. So as you can see, I haven't been putting in as much time. I want to get those videos out there for you. Family life's been crazy. So I felt like maybe you guys were losing faith in me. So I wanted to show you that I still had it, hitting the top 100 here right off the gate. So if we go look at our current season, boom, here's what we're doing. 68% out of the gate. I was actually around 80%. I had two hiccups here. One, two, that just ate a ton of time, unfortunately. So it happens, but very, very excited about that. For those of you that have been asking, I ran the Selesnya Life Gain deck or Squirrel Twin deck, whatever you want to call it. It's a crazy combo, about 70%. You can check out my video on the channel on it. Super fun deck, just absolute wrecks things, and we'll cover that a little bit when we get to historic here in a little bit. Now, personally, finally had a little bit more time to make this happen. My little one's getting a little bit more on a schedule. My other two, they're getting there. They kind of got more of a window. But the other thing that held me back a little bit is, unfortunately, I did have some surgery here. Outpatient surgery or inpatient, whatever it's called, on Friday. So it did slow me down just slightly there. I have a genetic, I think it's a disease actually, where I get what are called lipomas. And so I decided to get some of those cut out here. So anyway, crazy. Now with that, again, back to Magic here today. Appreciate you. Everyone, I hope you got faith restored in me. There will be a video coming on this soon, so you can stay tuned. Absolutely fun. Glad I was able to make it work. My only regret is I wish I could have did it in 2 days. Certainly this deck can get you there. It can get you number one, in my opinion. It's just a time game. Relatively, that's what I always prove, and why I like showing these things, because if you got the time, you take a top deck and you just smash face, you can absolutely do what I did. I don't think I'm anything special, but I like doing this stuff for you, and love that as always. So with that, just wanted to share a little bit of that Zoom with you on the top 62 or top 100, and we'll get a whole month of making stuff in Mythic for you. So I'm very excited about that, my friends, as always. So let's go ahead here. We'll look at what it is that you're here now for today. What does the meta look like when our brand new season? What's kicking, what's moving, what's working well, what's not? So this is standard best of one. So right now, mono white aggro is back at the top. We have a flip there. Mono black control, I think, was ahead of that. Mono green Stompy's fallen a little bit. We got the dimmer decks taking it up at the bottom. Again, this is the wide range. We can see how things are moving here. Mono white aggro just significantly played, so much more than everything else in the meta. If we get more to the competitive space, and we're not going to see a ton past platinum, you can see again it's still heavily dominated by mono white aggro, very tight here on the top end. 57, 57, 57, 57, all those decks just doing crazy stuff. Now we see again percentage of play here in the meta, so that makes a lot of importance. We do see mono white starting to come off a little bit there in terms of that downward trend. Again, some of the win rate compression getting a little bit tighter, but it's really right around these ones here when we look at that. And we can certainly continue to see that when you look at that picture there as well. Now, I will go into each of these as I always do. So for the reset, so at least you can see and have an idea of what's going on here in your tier. I think it's certainly important because that's exactly how we play and how I play and how I coach in terms of your game making as well, to recognize what's in your brackets, how to play against those brackets, the game within the game. That's why it's called the meta. So with that, let's take a look at Diamond. Diamond's gonna be a little light, absolutely. We do have a Gruul landfall deck in there. That's kind of interesting. And that's a new one. And then Mythic, nothing there. So not enough data. So, but I got some data on it. So you can see it in here. Now, that's a key piece there for standard best of one. Let's blow that out and flip over to best of three here. So best of three, we see a lot of stuff going on. That mono black aggro at the top, mono white aggro, green stompy, John, or is it dragons, John midrange still in there? Is it turns, Rakdos, vampires, and dimmer control? As we get into a little bit more, and you can see the respective deck lists on the right. So is it turn still being played a ton, even though mono white aggro and mono black has a better win rate. Look at the more competitive scene. Mono black aggro still doing very well there. Mono white, mono green stompy, and then the like is it turns, mono white aggro, green stompy, dimmer control not really doing well. And we certainly had that same kind of challenge when we played it. You guys can check out my list and the deck video that we did as well. Looks like Epiphany's kind of coming down a little bit there. So very interesting. But now if we drill into each of these, we don't expect really to see much here. Typically doesn't pick up until gold. So a little bit in silver for those of you playing best of three in silver. Then we get to gold. Here's gold. So certainly a lot of stuff. We got that Rakdos vampires doing well. Gruul werewolves in there. Azor's control in there. We did run that deck and talked a little bit about that this week. We got mono black aggro, mono white aggro, mono green stompy, and the works. Then as we move into Diamond, we got a lot in Diamond here now for best of three. A lot of people start to play best of three at this portion of the kind of curve and begin to enjoy ranking up there. And then again, you will see some of those folks in Mythic with Is It Turns and mono green stompy there as well. So that is the full view for standard, both best one and best of three. We're now going to move over to best of one historic. So here's what we got going on in historic. Azor's Aura. So this started coming back a little bit last week and is very powerful. So one of the big ones in this is Hushbringer. Actually right now it shuts down a lot of stuff, which is big, particularly when you look at the meta. It hurts Selesnya Squirrel Twin, it can hurt mono red aggro, and a whole host of other things, angels, sacrifice, those kinds of things. So it's big to keep that in mind because it's going to stop up the triggers. That's the biggest change up there. I did run in this deck once or twice when I was ranking up. I did get worked by it. So something to keep in mind. And I was on that Selesnya Squirrel Twin there. Then as we move in, so let's go ahead and look down. We can see a lot of the changes here. You see Selesnya Squirrel Twin falling off. You see Phoenix, mono green elves falling off, everything falling off at the top and there towards the end. Again, we start to see some of these other things starting to creep up in terms of what's going on in the meta. So 10% ish. So not quite as much as you'd expect. Green elves, mono red aggro, definitely see quite a bit of that in terms of best of one. So now when we go to platinum to mythic, we see mono red aggro, Selesnya Squirrel Twin, Rakdos Arcanist, Jeskai Control, mono green elves, John Sacrifices at Phoenix. Again, looking at that Squirrel Twin falling off pretty hard. I had just fine with it. 60%. We saw me on the what was it, 68, 69%. So definitely outperforming my peers there, so by 10%. So that's I'll call that the player factor then, I guess. So maybe I'm okay. But with that, it's a good look and cut and clip for us to see. Let's back this all the way out, and then we'll go back through it and see. Typically, we don't see the players pick this up more so until gold. So there you do get a little bit of it there in terms of those that you might be playing in silver. Now we got it in gold here. Then let's move over to platinum. So there's platinum. Again, mono red aggro right in there. It does a good job against Selesnya Squirrel Twin. Again, when you see those two up there, it makes a lot of sense. Lots of Rakdos aggro in there. Now let's move over to diamond. Nothing in diamond. See, I didn't play enough games to make it count. Even in Mythic, I didn't play enough games to make it count. So that is why. So there's the picture all the way across, my friends. Something key to pay attention to there for us and to stay readily available for. Sorry here. And good to go. So now let's go to best of 3. So when we're in best of 3 here, Selesnya humans, again, this is your traditional Coco. We got Izzet Phoenix, Selesnya combo, 5-color Niv, Azorius Auras again for best of 3, Rakdos Arcanus, Jun Sacrifice, and then Jeskai Control. So very, very big there. Rakdos Arcanus being at the top of the plate, Selesnya combo. Number 2 is it Phoenix, then Selesnya humans. We see all these win rates or decks played going up. And then additionally, we got sideways here. We got Selesnya humans doing a great job in terms of win rates. Everything else here in terms of the combo kind of trending slightly downwards, but kind of coming back up as things kind of get sorted. So usually kind of crazy at the beginning, which is typical in terms of what we see. If we go to the more competitive scene here, Selesnya humans, Golgari Sacrifice. I did run into quite a few of those decks. Izzet Phoenix, Azorius Auras, Selesnya combo not doing as well in best of 3. Selesnya humans being the one to be on. Rakdos Arcanist all the way down to that Golgari Sacrifice. So again, you can see some of these numbers as they move around. So we'll drill into each of these as we always do. So bronze, again, I'm going to assume gold. Did we get it? There's a little bit in gold, so not quite as much. Definitely in the more competitive scene in platinums. We see that here. Again, then as we move into diamond, we have a lot less in diamonds. So we got that Selesnya Enchantress deck. Then last but not least, we have Mythic. And again, just not enough information yet. So very, very new here in terms of turnaround for what we have going on. And then also another reason probably why made sense to wait a little bit even for me. So in terms of today's video, there we go. Historic. Let's look at historic Brawl. So no reset here. We got Joda Archmage Eternal, 5-color deck, doing very well here in terms of meta. Kinnan, Golos, Synthis, Toxrill again, that one came up last week. Tatyova, Benthic Druid, popping in there so you can see your Rooks being one of the most played. Kinnan, Golos, Joda, and so forth. So you can see all these decks popularity. We did see Golos at 6. Everything's kind of trending down, but within that 3% range. You can see the win rates here hovering, between 50 and 60%. So that is our snapshot there in terms of our historic Brawl. So now we're going to move into some of the key decks and things and events from the past week. So we have the five-color wheel here. A very, very cool tournament. We have a lot of players. What do we got there? We can't see it on my screen. 110 standard tournament. We got Grixis Control taking it down. Orzhov Control number 2. Izzet Control. So a little bit different there. So we got a turns deck that ultimately took it down. So that's pretty big. We haven't seen that recently, so that's pretty nifty there. Then we go into Red Bull Untapped, international stop for Central Europe. Here we got Izzet Epiphany. We got a Jund control deck, so that's certainly something new there as well, with probably Jund mid-range kind of a thing. We'll have to go look at that list later. Maybe we'll get that one out there. We got a Naya Treasures, so certainly some different things starting to crop in there. We got Picorni here running in mono green aggro, and at least top 16. So let's go ahead there. Next, we got a big Magic one as well as an Epiphany taking it down, followed up by kind of your traditional stuff. We do got a Jund mid-range there, doing all right. And then, so those are some of the key things that we saw, differences, lots of kind of key decks from the meta. But again, the big one this week is Innistrad Championship. So we'll cover this next week on some of the key stuff. That's always a big one. I realize I didn't cover any historic here, but we'll stick to the standard for today because the historic is going to be big for this tournament here, and we'll take a look at it next week. So with that, Planeswalkers, again, thank you so much. Appreciate everything. I hope you enjoyed this weekly episode, as we always do. Again, we had something a little bit special hitting here at 62. So stay tuned because we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff coming up here for the month of December. Got some holidays, good times as always, and just kind of a big thank you as always to close out another year of Magic. I think it's coming up on 2 years that I've been doing this, which is pretty crazy to think about. So, and the weekly series, I think at least for over a year now. So with that, Planeswalkers, as well as the tier list, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, it's a lot. Anyway, Planeswalkers, appreciate it as always. Flipping that like if you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Love your comments. Love your feedback. Love your criticisms, critiques, what have you, whatnot. Let me know down below. Feel free to hop on that Discord server. It is available to you in the description, along with a host of other ways to stay connected. Don't forget to subscribe because I love seeing you more and love hearing from you. So with that, we'll see you again soon. You stay safe. You take care. We got more standard top decks, historic top decks, jank. We'll get to some live stream here hopefully soon. Some Brawl, all that fun jazz, and maybe a tournament. We'll see. Starting to get some time back. I'm gonna knock on wood there. Yes, my desk is wood. Hopefully, maybe it's manufactured wood. Anyway, we got Friday Night Meta videos on a weekly series, our tier list coming, and the fun, cool, fast fact stuff that I try and do. So with that, Planeswalkers, stay safe, take care. We'll see you again soon. Until next time, Mythras out. I'll see you in Mythic.